Bitcoin's showing some weakness, folks. Although, as I've started making this video, it's pumping back up a little bit. I want to start out, like I said before, the volume on this is so low that I don't like that. If something were to happen right now and people started selling, the price of Bitcoin could come down pretty hard, pretty quick. Now, as we are right now, there's really no reason for a big selling spree to happen. But there could be a bunch of irresponsible, highly leveraged longs that could get liquidated, a long squeeze. And that could have been what this was a couple of days ago. This big red giant candle from 70,000 straight down to 64,500. It's recovering from there. So I've kind of capitulated back and forth here in the last week or so, talking about how this kind of looked like when this happened. I said, oh, it's probably looking like a dead cat bounce type deal here. And it turned out to be true. And but I also said in the video that, this 68,000 to 70,000 could very well be the range we pump up out into the parabolic pump. And no sooner I said that and this $5,000 red candle showed up straight down. I just want to show you these these horizontal blue lines. Get rid of that volume. The first one here is at about 63,700, 63,600. Interesting enough, back when I got into this back in November, December 2020 was a very similar situation, right? We came up and tested the previous all-time high, which was right here. It failed, came back down, came kind of back up for retest, kind of came back below it. And the monthly candle closed above the previous all-time high, just the way this one did here on March 31st. This is the daily chart, but this is the last day of March right here. Closed a little bit above the previous all-time high. And the last cycle, November 20, when this exact same thing happened, I measured it. It was 11% dump from there. And then it took off straight up parabolic. So let's measure that. I measured this in a previous video that 11% would be at about 63,600. And if I go back to the left here, there is support there at the bottom of these candles. That is a support line, and we kind of came down and bounced close to that. Not exactly off of it, but it came down to about 64,200 here on Femex. That's pretty close. Look at that. So for those of you that were watching back in November, December 2020, this is very similar. It's almost the exact same. Let's put this vertical line up here. That would be the old all-time high back to the left. Move it down about right there, right? And it's very similar, right? Came up, tested it, failed. Nice big sell-off, came back up. The monthly candle for November closed above the old all-time high. This blue line needs to be about right here. About in there is where it's actually at. Monthly candle closes above the all-time high, and 11% crash immediately. Well, it was like 10%, 9% immediately or whatever it was, but over the next week or two, 11%. And that's basically what just happened, right? So this is all happening almost identical to that exact same time frame. And this is, I did a little more consolidation. It took another week or two, and this is exactly where it took off parabolic. So I don't know if it's going to do it this time around. It could be kind of a trick. The halving comes up, and there could be some kind of massive sell-off. And I wouldn't put that off the table. But I just want to show you, get rid of this. These blue horizontal lines are support areas to watch. 63,600, 60,800. Down here, there's one at about 57,000 to 56,000. And then I think this would probably be the ultimate low for Bitcoin to go in the near future. This down here to 50,000 to 52,000. That's this range back here. So with that trade, I'm in a short and a long, adjusting it as we go, taking profit on the short as it comes down. And so in a nutshell, what I'm doing is I'm anticipating the big parabolic pump coming at some point. and I am preparing for the dump, right? I'm anticipating the pump, preparing for the dump. Either one happens, fine by me. I'd like to see it dump, right? I'd like to see it dump because I'll take profit on a short, add to my long at lower prices. That's the strategy I'm using here. If you've been following along, my entry price on my long is now under 68,000. Liquidation is under 59,000, and I'll predict that area. So if it did dump, I could take profit on the short and put dry powder into the long at the 58, 59,000 level. Drive my liquidation price all the way down below 50,000 if need be. That's my game plan. And I'm not saying you should do that, but I don't recall any seeing this on any YouTube channel anywhere. I think this is how the professional Wall Street people basically always win no matter what because they're hedging, right? Whether it's on the same screen like this or if they've got futures options, blah 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 blah, the shorting and long and all at the same time, and it's working really well for me. So like just think right now. If it dumps from here, I make money. If it pumps from here, I make money. Interesting, huh? So it's kind of hard to explain if you've never done it. So I would recommend if you want to try this, now's probably a decent time to try it. Of course, now that I say that, it'll probably go straight parabolic up, right? But if you have $1,000 and you put $100 into a long and $100 into the short at the same price, that would be my. If you want to try something, if you want to learn how to do this, I would do that and just sit and watch how it works, right? And just sit and think to yourself, oh, this is probably a good place to take profit here on this and add to this and do that and this, and because there's a lot of little strings you can. My analogy I used was like a spider on a spider web, right? Sitting there feeling for bugs. A bug hits his web, and he knows exactly where it's at. He's got all his little feelers out, right? That's kind of how this is, right? So I guess I'll end that there. There's not really a way I can explain how this is working well for me unless you just do it yourself and sit and watch. And it should become obvious to you. Now you need experience. The main thing with this trade I'm doing is the premise. I'm operating on the premise of what's going to happen. What's the no-brain thing that's going to happen with Bitcoin in the coming future? This price is going to go up, right? At some point the price is going up, and it's probably going up a lot. Whether it's this week, next month, or 4 or 5 months from now, I don't care. If it dumps, that's fantastic. If it pumps, that's fantastic. My last video, I made a video about this because they zeroed this all out, and I thought maybe they were thinking that halving was coming pretty quick. I'm not sure why it was zeroed out, but we're basically there to the halving. But I just want to show you the estimated halving date's actually been pushed back a day on this site with this clock. It's now April 20th, 2024. So that date would be 4/20, 2024. So a lot of people like the 4/20 part, right? If the halving occurs on 4/20, that'd be kind of ironic, kind of interesting. I don't know if it'd be ironic. It'd be interesting. But then I thought about it and say this date to yourself. Like April's the fourth month, right? So say that out loud. 4/20, 2024. 4/20, 2024. From left to right. 4/20, 2024. Now read it from right to left. 4/20, 2024. I thought that was kind of cute. What you think about that? And I do need to say something about gold. I've been recommending gold for a couple of years now. Physical gold, not stocks. I wouldn't buy any stocks, any fake paper gold. That's not real gold. Physical gold in your hand is what I'm talking about. This is the 20-year chart of gold. It starts at $400, and we're currently coming up to 2,300, probably 2,400 here pretty quick. So that's $2,000 gain over 20 years. That's $100 a year. If you listen to the crypto world, gold kind of becomes like some kind of Lots of people don't like gold because crypto people might not like gold because Peter Schiff, the gold guy, he trolls crypto YouTubers, and the crypto YouTubers troll Peter Schiff. So you might be kind of brainwashed into thinking gold is bad, gold is dumb, gold is stupid. Actually, gold is wonderful. Gold might be pumping up to $3,000 or $4,000, perhaps $6,000. There's been two big pumps in the history of last 20 years history of gold. You can see it here. This one here, that one, and this one here, that one. And interesting enough, this one happened during the last Bitcoin pump. Actually, it was right before it. But anyways, actually it came down Bitcoin pump. But anyways, that kind of looks like what gold's setting up for now. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another $2,000. If gold goes up to 4,500, 5,000, pretty quick. Physical gold, right? I have another channel where I was doing e-waste scrapping, and I've been saving like old computer circuit boards and stuff because they've got gold and silver and other precious metals on them, and I was just hoarding them up because I didn't have time to scrap them, and so I started saving them, and then I realized how much the price of gold's going up. So like, it's about 80% on the circuit boards have doubled in the last 8-9 years. So that's interesting. Physical gold, I think, is wonderful right now. You're probably looking to double or triple your money here in the near future on gold, which is basically probably better than Bitcoin. This might sound stupid. Gold could outperform Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is likely consolidating and setting up for a parabolic push up well over $100,000 in the next 6 months, and gold might outperform Bitcoin, right? So gold's not the enemy, right? Gold might perform really well. Gold and Bitcoin could run together this time, which would be interesting. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for watching.